Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back. I know it has been a very long time since I've done any type of lock update, lock routine, lock anything, and I do apologize because I know a lot of you are subscribed to me because I have locks and I am currently on my lock journey. And trust me, I have so many videos planned for you guys, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. Hopping into today's video is going to be 5 mistakes that I see a lot of people doing when they get locks. Jumping into the first mistake that I see a lot of people doing when they get locks is not moisturizing your locks. Well, what is moisturizing your locks? Because some people genuinely don't moisturize their hair. Like, just because you have locks don't mean that you don't have to moisturize your locks almost every single day. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly how to do that. And also weekly, you should be moisturizing your locks weekly as well, so daily and weekly. And basically I see a lot of people going around just not putting anything in their hair, not spraying their hair, and not using any type of product to help your hair lock up faster. Because what a lot of people don't know is that when your locks are moisturized and your locks are being misted, and misted, you need to get yourself some type of a misting spray bottle. I've showed this in my last video where I break down basically all the products I use on how I take care of my locks. There's this mist spray bottle that I'm gonna pop up on the screen right now. You need to buy one of those because guess what, you should be misting your locks every single day. No excuse. When you wake up in the morning and you finish doing your skincare routine, brushing your teeth, whatever you do, shower, make sure that you take down your locks if you had them up or in a bonnet or whatever, and you mist your hair all the way around every single day. And I guarantee you that is going to help your hair lock faster, and it's also going to bring some moisture to your hair, because I do feel like that is important. And as an added extra bonus, you can also put some oil inside of the spray bottle along with water. Don't use too much oil though. Like, you just really want to use maybe like 20 drops of oil. You really don't want to use that much. Once again, I break down all the products. I'll link the video. It should be like right here in the cards, one or the other sides. I don't know which side, but you want to be misting your locks, like I said, and with a little bit of oil, it's also going to help your locks just smell good and stay fresher for longer. And it's also going to help with frizz, because water to your locks makes them expand, and when your locks expand, they get frizzy, and it helps the locking process when your hair is frizzy, because obviously that means that new growth is coming in, and it's just going to help your hair a lot quicker. And once you get that retwist, you're going to have a lot more new growth, which is great because you want length on your locks, of course. Another thing to go with moisturizing your locks is oiling your scalp. Now, you should be oiling your scalp ideally once a week. I want to say some people do it twice a week. I say it really depends on how often you wash your hair. Personally, I like to oil my scalp after I wash my hair. So if that's just what you prefer, then you can do that. But if you don't end up washing your hair like before retwist and you need to do it after, then that's totally fine. I know a lot of locticians like put grease in people's hair or even oil the scalp like after doing the retwist, so that's totally fine as well. So you should be misting your locks daily, and then whenever you wash your hair, whether that be every week or every other week, you should be oiling your scalp. That is very, very important for lock growth and just taking care of your hair. The second mistake I see a lot of people with locks making is not protecting your hair. And this was specifically targeted to not protecting your hair at night. But I want to emphasize on this and say that not protecting your hair at night, and also even in the daytime in certain circumstances, is not good for your locks. Not only is not protecting your hair at night going to allow for debris and lint to get in your locks, because when you sleep, even if your bed is clean, trust me, I've had it happen before. When I'm not wearing my bonnet often, I'll get stuff in my hair just magically. I have pets as well, especially if you have pets. If you have pets, it is a must to be protecting your locks anytime you're in your bed, especially if you allow your pets to be in your bed, because it's so easy to get pet hair in your locks, and you don't want pet hair in your locks getting locked into your hair. It just doesn't look good, because obviously the hair on your pet isn't the same as your hair. It's not the same color, so it's just gonna look weird and it's gonna cause buildup in your locks. So you want to be protecting your hair at night, like I said, from debris, bacteria. It's just good to protect your locks at night. Like I said, let me emphasize on in the daytime as well. If you're cooking, for example, or you know you're going to be doing an activity where you're going to have to protect your hair, or where you should protect your hair, then wearing something like a bonnet is perfect for that. Because for example, if you're cooking, locks tend to absorb smell very easily. I've had my locks start to smell exactly like what I was cooking because of the simple fact that I didn't protect my hair while I was cooking. So I just wanted to throw that in there because a lot of people are like, oh, how do I stop my locks from smelling weird while I'm cooking? I mean, it's really as simple as just covering up your hair anytime you're doing some activity that you feel like is going to interfere with your locks, whether that be smell or physically. So protect your hair. It's very important. Jumping into the third thing that I see a lot of people with locks do that is a mistake is getting retwist too often and also getting retwist too late. I feel like minimum you should not go over 2.5 months when it comes to getting a retwist. And I believe when I first got my locks back in July, I believe it was, I ended up waiting until I believe September. I want to say September. I think I waited either 2.5 months to almost 3 months to get my next retwist after I first started my starter locks. So just like if you have starter locks, then sure, I'd say wait like 2.5 months, 3 months before you get your next retwist, just because of the simple fact that it's just easy for your hair to unravel. And I also feel like messing with it too early on won't allow your hair to begin the locking process smoothly. So I'd highly recommend waiting at least 2 to 3 months before getting your first retwist after, you know, your first ever starter locks are put in your hair. Make sure you guys are not getting retwists too often, because I see a lot of people saying that they get retwists every 2 weeks. Like getting retwists every 2 weeks, like a month is low-key pushing it in my opinion. I do think depending on how fast your hair grows and how frizzy it gets, it's really up to you whether or not you want to get your hair retwisted once a month. I think it's acceptable if your hair grows fast, but even that is, I feel like, kind of too much at times, because I think the whole point of locks is you want to allow your hair to do its thing. It's not so much about keeping your hair in that clean look. In my personal opinion, I think the messy look looks better than having your locks done and your roots are showing. And even if your roots aren't showing, I just think that the messy look looks better, like 8 times out of 10. It's really up to you, but I just wouldn't recommend getting your retwist nothing over like once a month. If you're getting retwist before a month like hits, then I think that's a little too much, and it can cause thinning, and you're not giving your hair enough time to even build up new growth in order to have it retwisted so it can lock up with the rest of your hair. So just make sure you guys aren't waiting too long to get retwists as well, because a lot of people will wait 4 or 5 months to get retwist, and with that your locks can mat together, and retwists already hurt even if you're waiting like a month. I usually get my hair retwisted every month because my hair does grow pretty quickly. So that's just my personal schedule. But if you're waiting, like, I couldn't imagine waiting like 4 to 6 months. I could not imagine doing that. You should have been and got a retwist. All right, now the fourth thing that I see a lot of people with locks make the mistake of doing is washing their hair too often. You should not be washing your hair every single day, because I have heard people say that they wash their hair on the daily. If you're washing your hair daily, you're not letting your locks do their thing. Once again, you need to let your locks flourish. You need to let them get messy. You need to let them just do their job of growing and having that new growth come in. Overwashing your hair just isn't good for your natural hair in general, because you're stripping your hair of the natural oils. I've seen people recommend every 4 days. That's still too much in my personal opinion. I think that you shouldn't be washing your locks no more than, like, as if you're super active, I want to say maybe once a week. That's usually the type of schedule I'm on. But washing your hair frequently but not excessively is really good for your hair in general, because you don't want there to be a lot of dirt and build up, because your scalp does accumulate build up eventually if you don't wash it. So I like to set a reminder in my calendar to just wash my hair every week and a half or so. That's also a really good way to remind yourself that, you know, you need to wash your hair. Just set a reminder and you're good to go. Don't overwash your hair, and make sure you're not waiting too long to wash your hair. Now, the fifth and final mistake that I see a lot of people with locks make is going to a barber who has no experience with cutting people's hair that has locks. If you have locks and you go to a barber, some random barber that has no experience with cutting people's hair that have locks, then why are you even going there? And then at that, if this barber isn't tying up your hair and putting it up for you while they're cutting your hair, you need to leave immediately. Because I have a friend and he ended up getting his lock cut off because he went to a barber that had no experience with cutting people's hair with locks. If you're going to a barber, please ask them if they can accommodate someone with locks, or even ask them if they have experience and they know what they're doing, just to save you the headache of getting your lock cut off. Because imagine going to a barber shop and the first thing that they do is accidentally cut up too high and they cut your lock off. Then what are you gonna do? Get a refund? You can't regrow back that hair. I mean, you can reattach it, but it just saves the headache of not having to go through that and complaining to the barber. And yeah, just make sure that the barber that you go to can cut your hair. Ask politely, and if they do a good job, tip them if you have the money, of course. Anyways, I just wanted to put that out there because I genuinely have seen a lot of people be like,
oh, I got my hair cut off by this barber because he didn't know what he was doing. And
I was like, did you even ask, has he cut someone's hair with locks before? If he hasn't, chances are he might cut your locks. I'm not gonna lie. That's enough rambling for me. Hopefully these 5 tips helped you guys. And like I said, new lock content is coming very, very soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button and dropping a like on this video if it helped you out. Yeah, my Instagram will be down below if you want to hit me up. Any questions, drop me a follow over there on my IG. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.